and be like, the environment that I'm in right now, what are its priorities and how it's asking me to move in posture? And are those aligned with what I know is actually going to be healthy and supportive and kind to my body? And so, and then if it's not, how can we modify that? Like, can we put a lumbar cushion in your car seat to get you into more of a neutral spine posture for the hour of commuting that you're doing both ways? Because guess what? Like, I agree. It's really not nice that your back is hurting you with this commute that you're going to and from work, and that is making you have to take these medications that are affecting these other body systems and whatnot. But like, at the end of the day, is it reasonable that your back's getting kind of angry in that environment? Maybe what we need to do is we need to go for a 10-minute walk before you get in that car, just so that system's happier going into this thing that's going to apply stress and strain, and just finding those ways to say, what is the world asking of my body right now? What do I know my body needs, and how can I find compromises there? And that's oftentimes not what people want when they come in to see me, but it's what they get when they come in to see me, because most of the time that our body's complaining, it's complaining for a good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same reason why, sometimes we get anxiety.
Right.
That's like a signal.
Yeah.
Usually the anxiety starts in your body. Oh, my stomach's a little queasy, my heart's pounding a little bit. Okay, maybe I'm about to step into an uncomfortable environment, or it's late and I'm walking back to my car after work and I'm by myself. Like, some of these things are happening. Now, some it's like you're worrying about things that may never happen. You're catastrophizing. Like, okay, how can we like take a deep breath, shut that down a little bit, work through that. But sometimes you're feeling anxious for good reason.
And having a stress response system within the body, like, you are alive and well today because all of your ancestors before you had effective stress response systems in their body.
Right.
If they didn't know how to get uncomfortable and then stressed and then have to adapt, we would not be here. Like, that is necessary. And so I think almost connecting back to that idea of self-love is like listening to your body, listening to what your body is telling you, finding when the response you're having is maladaptive, finding ways to work with your body to say, oh, that thing that I'm fixating on, that's not actually something I need to worry about. So I work a lot with like catastrophization of movement or fear avoidance with movement. People will say, uh-oh, when I squat down, my knees hurt and I hear a click, and so I don't squat. And it's like, well, when you squat down, you're loading a lot more heavily through your patellofemoral joint. Can your patellofemoral joint actually tolerate the amount of loading you're doing? Maybe we need to build up its tolerance to load a little bit more. But does that mean that we shouldn't load the patellofemoral joint, or the fact that you're feeling stress or strain in those tissues is inherently bad or wrong? No. You're loading that tissue more. You feel the strain more. That's good. Your body's giving you information. You're receiving it. You're working with it, you know? So I think we're not trained to listen to our minds. We're not trained to listen to our bodies from the time that we're young. We're trained to be able to ignore those things so that we can do our other tasks. We're trained in first grade. Hey, I need to go to the bathroom. Well, don't go to the bathroom right now because you need to stay here for the rest of, this class period. And it's important to be able to sit in one place for more than 2 hours without going to the bathroom.
Sure.
That's an important life skill. But it's also important to say, I listen to my body and I know what my body is telling me and I know how to act based off of that, Right. And so it's balancing those two things is so important. And it's important for our mental as well as our physical.
For sure. And it's all connected. Everything is bidirectional. Everything you're going to think about for your body is good for your mental, and vice versa. It all goes both ways. I was thinking about these sort of micro movements that we're trying to get in throughout the day. And as we were talking, I was thinking about these algorithms that I tell people that they should put into their life for their mental health.
Let's hear it.
So it's like, if this, then what statement. So if you do this, then I do this.
Okay.
So if, for example, if I start to feel anxious, then I take a few deep breaths. So I've just practiced this into my life, so I know it's a sort of protocol. If I walk through the door, then I take a mindful breath, whatever the case may be. So I was thinking about that, how you can add that for your sort of micro movements throughout the day.
100%.
If I sit for more than 1 hour, I will stand up and walk 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So if this, then what? And I think that could be like the way your life has a little bit of rhythm to it. You have these set of protocols that you do no matter what, and you're getting a ton of movement in throughout the day.
Absolutely.
So maybe you'll feel less shitty.
Absolutely. Well, something I really like to come to is, and I bet I can already hear you saying the same thing on the end that you work with, is do it when your body would like it, but before you need it. Because if I wait to make the postural adjustment until I'm already in 4 out of 10 back pain, it's going to be a lot harder, even just from a pure physiology of the nervous system perspective. Once I have excited a certain neural pathway, it's going to be a lot tougher for me to not excite that neural pathway. And neural pathways are how we experience everything we experience, including pain, right? So I instruct people often on saying, I want you to be really observant. After our evaluation, rarely do I give concrete homework. I just say your homework is to go home and get a better sense of your exact pattern of the pain or the dysfunction you're having. How long am I sitting at my computer before I experience pain? Does it matter what position I'm in? Does it matter what tasks I'm doing at my computer? And if you find that it's with 30 minutes of sitting at my computer that I start to feel pain, and then you start fidgeting, and then in an hour you have to get up and move around, what if at 25 minutes, we did a couple seated cat-cows. We took a deep breath because we realized that we were holding our shoulders up here and we could. And maybe that's an opportunity. Yeah, get up, refill your water cup because maybe we're also working on increasing hydration or whatnot. Use it before you need it. And at first, those patterns have to be really intentional. So I have people taking out their phones. I say, if your pattern is at 1 hour, I get the symptom, at 50 minutes, you're doing this thing instead. But over time, your body habituates to that process and it gets used to saying, oh, I would never stay in this position for a while. Your internal clock starts saying, it's around 50 minutes. I should get up and move.
Right.
And so I think I'm a big proponent of just building those things into, daily life so that you just get that movement, you get that postural variation, you get all of that into your life and you get it when your body wants it before it needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.